That's so funny. Just as I clicked start, the bird just went. Anyways, hello and welcome. This is going to be a Divine Masculine reading. And I want to preface with we just made it through a big portal with the full moon in Pisces and happening at the same time that we had a Cardinal Grand Cross occurring. I talked more about that in some older videos, but effectively it's clash of the Titans in the planets, and so you can look at that in terms of clash of the Titans both internally and in terms of if you're on I was just thinking I was doing a daily reading. I'm not. This is specifically for Twin Flame. So in Twin Flame Journeys, Clash of the Titans, and especially if you are experiencing a moment of no contact with your twin, or things are weird and you're not quite sure what's going on, trust your intuition. Even though the moon is not in Pisces, the effects of the Virgo sun and moon in Pisces are amplified and going to be carrying on until at least January, especially with the Cardinal Grand Cross going on. So telepathic communication, intuition, and the ability to see clearly even when you can't see clearly are all being heightened. And also there's plenty of twins that are seeing reunions of sorts with their twins that have been in karmic third-party relationships. So collectively we are seeing a lot of divine masculines in particular freeing themselves from karmic third-party situations. So if your intuition says that it's coming, it probably is. But continue healing, work on getting to a place to where you can recognize that even if this wasn't the, freedom moment, it still was an important moment and will get you there. Either way, I definitely sense disturbances in the force. And I'm paying attention to what others are going through and the information coming to me and my own connection, and I'm curious what the cards will say, because there's still a fair amount of that moon energy, which I'm going to laugh if that card comes out when I use the Rider-Waite deck. I did find my homophones cards, so I'm going to use those again. I apologize if they appear backwards for you guys. I think they probably look fine otherwise, but I'll definitely make sure to read off what the what the card says for you. Anyways, I've already pre-shuffled and done some clearing. Oh, that's right. You know what? I had a channeled song coming in when I was thinking about doing this reading. It's I don't know if it's called Thunder Only Happens When It's Raining, but that's the song. That's the part of the song that I really remember. And the players only love you when they're playing. I'm not on here to be a YouTube singing star, so what's funny is that song has come through before, but it's kind of been more on Divine Feminines feeling that way. And I think actually that a lot of Divine Masculines are noticing that the people that they've been with, their karmics, are very much players, and that they only love them when they are doing what they want, giving them the money, or letting them repeat their own toxic cycles over and over again. And a fair amount of masculines are also having a bunch of tower moments financially and emotionally, and recognizing that it's in large part either because they've stayed with their karmic, or through actual intentional things done by karmics to keep them, to instigate trouble, to try to maintain control, things like that. And on that note, remember two things. One, the grass is always greener where you water it. And two, release control whenever you find yourself feeling really in need of doing it. Just keep releasing control. Trust spirit. Everything's always unfolding beautifully. And as long as you stay on your journey and do your thing, there's no reason for... Well, even if you don't do that, it's part of your journey. Things are always unfolding. And you never know why things happen the way that they do. At least not when they're happening. Usually you find out later if you're paying attention, and then you go, oh wow, that's why that needed to happen that way. I had a few moments like that earlier. Alright, so I'm going to pull, I think, 3 homophone cards for Divine Masculines collectively, and that'll it's just kind of a fun way to see, to kind of add an element to it. Please leave in the feedback, in the comments below, any feedback of how that seems relevant to you, or if it doesn't seem relevant at all. I enjoy doing it either way, so thank you, Spirit, for 3 homophone cards for our Divine Masculines. Toes almost wanted to come out, or toe. Oh, alright, we got 8 in reverse, which could be... Oh wow, this is funny. So my tarot deck is sitting over here, and the wind just blew this top card right off the deck. It's the Hierophant in reverse. I'm going to keep that and put that over there. That's usually divorce and the dissolving of commitments, especially ones that were thought to be higher commitments and are not. And it's also, I mean, it's lessons learned, but they're usually very hard lessons. So let's see what else comes out here. Thank you for 2 more for Divine Masculines. Thank you. Oh, interesting. That card was going to come out upright, but it flipped over several times. Meet in reverse. Alright, that could be like a delay in communication. Or delay in meeting up with you. Actually, that makes sense, especially considering what's been going on in the energies. They're kind of Knight of Pentacles reverse. Like, they want to meet, they want to offer something, but something is getting in the way. One more, please, Spirit. One more for Divine Masculines. Oh, I'm so laughing that that came out. But I see why it came out the way that it did, because when it came out, it was like this, but it fell and went this way. So we have 3 reversed cards on that. And it's funny, on the bottom now is plain, like a plain burger. No cheese, no sauce, no nothing. No, no sweetness for you. It seemed like that from Seinfeld, the soup Nazi. No soup for you. I kind of get that sense that that's kind of where masculines are. At least a lot of them are. Maybe they're starting to see the humor just a little bit in the situation that they're in, kind of recognizing that they're in a bit of a circus, and that as long as they stay there, no soup for you. And a lot of them are they're in karmic relationships that are mimicking their old relationships, and especially if they've been in union with you and you were different, you were thoughtful, you've offered them unconditional love even during separation. You've been there for them as a friend, like a real friend and stuff. And especially like after having any sort of physical connection with you, like it's never the same going in, especially with somebody from the old toxic cycles that they were in before they met you. It's just not the same. But I get the sense that like they've kind of been in this place of like, kind of like, I can't afford cheese and ketchup and stuff, it's horrible, I'm just gonna eat it plain. But then now they're kind of in a place to where they're like, I'm just not allowed. I'm not allowed to have nice things. I'm not allowed to have ketchup on my burger or cheese. I'm gonna have to cut down. I ain't got no money. I ain't have no fun. And sure, I have a bun and a burger. You know, like, sure, I have a relationship. It does have the basics, but there's nothing special about it. It's the bare bones of it, and no ketchup for you. What's funny, I'm just noticing the mist behind me from a sprinkler that my mom has set up for her plum tree and stuff. It's like a real tall one, which I do get some of the sense, kind of the sense too, that, I mean, definitely being water and being a sprinkler, that there might be some tearful energy, but there also might be some of that kind of youthful energy for masculines of like, you know, when you're kids and you're running through the sprinkler, like they don't, you know, they can have it plain, and also, you know, they're appreciating the simpler things. Anyways, what we got was 8 reversed, meat reversed, and toe reversed. And on the opposite sides, 8, as in I ate that, meat, as in like karna, meat. Oh, an interesting toe, as in tow truck, which is really relevant for my personal thing. So is toe and meat. Now 8, this particular card, I sometimes I see it as a magic 8 ball, and other times I see it as a billiard ball. But either way, 8 is well, at least in upright, it's like commitment, it's a strength card, it's, in terms of like this particular symbol, if it's a billiard ball, it's about playing games and strategy and having fun and not sweating the small stuff. And as a magic 8 ball, it's like trying to divine the future, and sometimes with, you know, some hokey methods, um, especially I would say in this way. So but I have been seeing in other readings the Eight of Pentacles reversed a fair amount, which is like, you know, unsatisfying commitments and relationships and doing work that you don't love and you don't like, and it's really wearing down on you and it's not getting you anywhere. You're not moving up to the Nine of Pentacles or the Ten of Pentacles. You're not building anything consistent. Um, and I think, hmm, I think divine. We'll have to look at the other cards, but I think divine masculines are kind of recognizing that a fair amount, that what they've tried to build cannot go any further than it is. All they can have where they are at is this: a very plain, very dry burger. No drink, no fries, no soup for you. And they likely want to meet. And they probably had planned to, especially for those of you that are in a co-parenting dynamic with them. They wanted to meet with you, but for whatever reason, they cannot. And I think also this signifies, because it's a handshake, I think that it also goes along very well, Spirit giving us this one, the ending of a commitment. Like, you know, when we shake hands, we often make a deal. And it's likely that, especially with this 8 in reverse, that they met with somebody and they made a deal with them for a relationship, probably tried to mix in the financial aspect of it, or I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine, and they're not getting that. They're getting this. So now they're ready to end it too, or they're allowing it to end either way. But it can be like the opposite, like a not handshaking. If you know, if this is a meeting in this way, then this could be the ending of a meeting or the ending of an agreement. And toe, interesting. I love that they include the little smiley faces on each toe. It's adorable. This, in reverse, I would almost say is not adorable, like the opposite, like not adoring this. They're not adoring the situation that they're in. There might be more about that later. It might also be um, that they're healing some sacral chakra stuff, you know, that place to where they can feel inspired and have fun. Like this kind of, this way, it seems to me it's very fun, you know, and even this, if this is a billiard ball or a magic 8 ball, fun, right? Fun. And typically meetings are usually supposed to be fun. We want to meet with people that are fun. So all of these cards together with this one and our bottom card being plain suggests to me that masculines are really feeling like they want to have fun, and they're feeling like they're not having it with whatever they're doing, whether they're with an actual person, karmic third party, or there's something else going on. And Venus should just go into Leo, and a lot of times that's an aspect, you know, of wanting to have fun, especially romantically. So right now they're not having fun. No fun. No soup for you, no ketchup for you. I might call this video that. No soup for you. Anyways. Alright, let's see. I'm just going to leave these up here. I don't necessarily need to clarify them, but thank you, Spirit, for showing us how masculines are feeling right now. That'll give us a little confirmation. How are masculines feeling? Oh, ha! That's funny. What did I say? What did I say, right? Now, what's funny is this, in asking how are they feeling, this came up upright. This is still only an 8, though, so I think some of them are still on the timeline of trying to make their karmic relationship work. They're trying to integrate. They're trying to, how do I put it? A lot of them have allowed their own desires to take a back seat, especially in terms of what they find joy in. And this card is typically about working, but it's one of the, like, the craftsman, the artisan cards, and the figure in it, in upright, is really enjoying what he's doing. And 8s are also about boundaries, too. Like, you notice there's a boundary here, and it's a financial boundary. So I think think a lot of masculines are feeling good about some sort of financial boundary, or they had some sort of financial achievement. It could even just have been that they managed to pay their rent. Um, but I think that in concert with the 8 reversed, that they are they're nearing the end of the cycle. This is 8, 9, 10, right? They're nearing the end of the karmic cycle, and they're feeling good about that. They're feeling good about that because they see that they're not going to get more than this with where they're at. They want this. A lot of them could be thinking about commitment with you also, and I think a fair amount of them are just kind of analyzing how far they've gotten, what they need to do to be able to get ahead. This is often planning too. Let's see what else comes out. Get a little more definition. Although on the bottom here, they have the hangman reversed, hypocrisy and procrastination. So they're procrastinating right now. How else are they feeling, Spirit? Oh, goodness. I'm laughing because a card fell out, but look what I was holding when the card fell out. 2 of Cups. Now what came out? Looky, looky, I got hooky. Conflict. They're feeling conflicted. And look, they're feeling conflicted about a commitment, about finances, about emotion, about what they love, about the little things. This card, wow, that was a big tingle on that. This card is often also about appreciating the little things, putting the fine details on things. This is also kind of a chores card too, so it could be that they're really feeling this Virgo energy and like, I really need to get enough nuts put away for the winter, but they're feeling conflicted. Let's see if we can get one more card. Thank you, Spirit. One more card on what Divine Masculines are feeling right now. What are they feeling? Oh, no. Alright. I saw that 4 of Pentacles pop out there. No? Alright. A lot of almost cards. I think they're thinking a lot. Very contemplative, which makes sense for the Virgo Sun energy, too. Oh, alright. I'll take that one. Oh, wow. Look what's on the bottom now. Ace of Swords reversed. Misunderstandings, lies, deceit, not standing in your truth, a new beginning kind of gone wrong, and a need for clarity, especially internal clarity, like to be clear with oneself. Now, oh, that's interesting. I was just looking at what the hot topic was, 3 of Wands. So that they're talking about what ships have come in and have not. They're taking and accounting for what has happened, and likely also because this is a 3, they're talking about the karmic situation that they have, and they're probably talking about you too. They could even be having conflicts, like this is part of why they're feeling conflicted. This is kind of last man standing in a sort of way too. So, but they're talking about what has worked and what has not, and where they want to go in their journey next, and how you play a part in it, and the karmic does or doesn't play a part in it. And remember, we had this card pop out from Spirit earlier, so it could be that they're talking about their next step. It could be that if their karmic was like a roommate for them or lived in their house, it could be that they're talking about where that karmic is going to go. I don't know, there's a fair amount of ego in it, and there's still, because of this red and this green, there's still kind of some fight or flight things going on, and it could be even because this character is facing away, it could be that they're turning their back on the karmic, or the karmic is turning their back on them and refusing to have these conversations, and so a lot of them are waiting to have this conversation with them, or their karmics are just full of conflict and deceit, and so they're kind of waiting and for the right timing. They could be waiting, oh, you know what? Sometimes this is when they're trying to manifest. The DMs are trying to manifest conflict, or even the karmics are trying to manifest conflict, and it could be that they're just kind of waiting for it to happen on its own because they recognize the cycles in it. And Eights are also about applied wisdom, so it could be that they're seeing the cycles that their karmics go through, and they're learning not to be so reactive to it, but they're waiting for that conflict to happen so that they can use it to get out of those situations. But they're probably also feeling deceitful. And the hard thing is too, if part of their healing needs was about standing in their truth and being honest, then spirit is likely to not let them get out of it in quite that way. They have to do a lot of them have to do this. um, Curious. Let's see. So, oh, interesting. So, all right, underneath we have the Two of Cups, High Priestess, Five of Pentacles, sorry, Five of Pentacles, Five of Cups reversed, so that's two fives. That's three fives, actually. Change, instability. Um, yeah, change and instability. That's tower moments, effectively. The Devil reversed. Yeah, that's that one. Another that goes with the Hierophant in reverse, breaking free of toxic commitments. Queen of Wands reversed. Somebody using her charms in a negative way. Being overly sexual, not having good boundaries, being very victim mindset, very like, nothing good ever happens to me and you're just contributing to it too, and using emotions, heart, especially heart emotions, to get somebody to betray themselves. Gaslighting is also very big with the Queen of Wands reversed. Then we have Page of Pentacles reversed. It could be that either the karmic has children or the DM and you do, or both, and there's some challenges with children and money, and also I think DMs are just feeling a bit immature. Fool and upright though. Ten of Pentacles reversed, so they're definitely not getting that. Nine of Pentacles they're seeing you. If you've been doing your work and glowing up, they're seeing you. And then look at that, the Nine of Pentacles is upright though. They are coming towards you again. That's good, and they're getting more stable. It's especially good that meat card. I think rather than, I mean, I still get the intuition that there might be some delays in some reunions, whether they've told you about it or not, or just delay in communication because of it. But I think this is more so them ending commitments with karmics that they began in good faith, or they thought were in good faith. And Ace of Pentacles reversed, yeah, which is, it's another handout, but it didn't work. It was greedy, materialistic. And some of them may be in kind of analysis paralysis, or feeling like they're not clear on which way to go. How do I want to do this? Hmm. I think I'm going to ask for clarity on why they're feeling these ways, and about this Hierophant, um, rather than shuffling back in. Thank you, Spirit, for showing us. Let's do the Hierophant reversed first. Thank you, Spirit, for showing us what this Hierophant reversed is about for DMs collectively. Thank you. Oh, alright, alright, alright. Oh wow, three cards all at once. Oh, and that's so funny. Three of Cups in reversed. A not fun, not friendly, not fulfilling, no soup for you, third party situation. Now the cards that came out for this Hierophant reversed, looky looky. Even Divine Masculine himself is in there. And look what else. Another 8. What do you say? Strength, right? Actually, no, it's a 7. So this is another one of kind of last man standing energy, but it's a little different. It's getting tired of fighting on your own, recognizing that you're, well, I would say I don't know that this is an interpretation of this card, but what I'm getting off of it is that a lot of divine masculines are recognizing that they've not been very good at asking for help when they need it, or accepting it when it comes, or they've been very like, I've had to do everything alone in my life, so I might as well keep continuing on that. But now they're tired. And it's not working, and they're not getting past those cycles. They keep kind of going ace through eight, ace through eight, ace through eight, and it's not fun. And with strength and the Emperor, I think they're definitely feeling a bit of that Beauty and the Beast stuff. They're kind of thinking about their empresses, their divine feminines, and they're like, I'm such a beastie in comparison to her, you know? But they like that especially for those of you that have been doing your healing work and you've not played at least too much into the drama of their karmic relationships, they see you as kind of this angelic, wise and resourceful person that like the lion in this, there's no muzzle on that lion. There's no sticks to hit him with. There's, she's not even giving him any treats. She's literally just putting her hands around his mouth, and he's opening his mouth. He wants to tame himself for the interactions with effectively the Empress, and the Empress wants to have the interactions with him. She just enjoys it. And with the Emperor card in there, and the Seven of Wands reversed, I think that the Hierophant reversed is very much about, I mean, they're recognizing they could stay in, the karmic cycle that they're with. Um, it's probably at least no more uncomfortable than relationships that they had in the past that repeat their mother, father, childhood wounds. But they want more than that. And they recognize they could do it on their own. They have been for a long time. Even if they've been in relationships, it's been them supporting themselves and them being their own emotional support. And even when you've offered it, they've either not understood how to accept it, or they didn't because they didn't feel worthy of it, or they didn't feel it was right. But they want their strength, and they're feeling strong on their own. I think most of them are recognizing that they are feeling strong because of their connection to you, because of what they've learned with you, or because of what they've learned because of how they've been triggered by you. And I was called to listen to a reading. She's called the Lotus Goddess. She does charm readings, and there's a reading that came up that originally came up early on in the cycle, and it talked about. I think the title of it was "DM Find Strength in Your Name, DF," and like they're feeling a warmth when they think about you and what you've inspired them to do. And they recognize that they don't want to be alone. They could be. A lot of them are at the precipice, that could also be another way to look at this card, this card, and this card. They're at the precipice of a life change. Do they want to go forward and be single? They can do it. They're tired. They probably need a rest. They might even, in this very moment, be single and free of them, but they're, especially with this wand reverse, they're not talking about it because they're tired. And they're hoping that you intuitively just know, because somehow you always do anyways. So they're hoping for that. But in their hearts, and oh, you know what? I didn't even think about Heart of the Matter. Oh, that's funny. Heart of the Matter now is the Three of Wands again. Something that is being waited for and something that is manifesting, which it's, again, another threshold energy. Which actually was really fitting because Virgo is actually said to be ruled by the comet Vesta, who is the goddess of thresholds. Okay, hot topic. Page of Cups in reverse. Which, I mean, this can be fake apologies, pretty words, it just immature behavior in general. It can be escapism, drinking, drugs, gambling, even workaholic behaviors. But I'm getting the sense that with the combination of all of these, especially the 8, the meat, and the toe, and this being the Hierophant reversed, that they are recognizing that in their current dynamic, they can have this, but they can't have this. They can't have the romantic, creative energy. They don't feel connected with themselves, with spirit. Water, emotions, inspiration, romantic love, that makes us feel connected to ourselves and to spirit. No soup for you. That's the hot topic of it. This can also be someone who's not thoughtful and who is in unevolved or toxic water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And so this is the hot topic. This is why this Hierophant reversed is here, and this is why. So the heart of the matter, they're not seeing what they wanted to manifest. Whatever they agreed on with the karmic in the beginning is not manifesting. And it's not adorable or fun. It's not feeling strong. It's confusing them. Even just, is it a billiard ball or is it a magic 8 ball? That's confusion all on its own, right? And they're feeling like they want a strong commitment that can go further, but they're conflicted about. I just got the message they're conflicted about whether or not they're worthy of it yet. And this is they're still, a lot of them are still somewhat lying to themselves. This is that self-deception energy. But the hot topic, though, they want to have a fun union. They want to have friendships. They want to be able to celebrate. They want to be able to do good things, and they're not feeling that. This is in their shadow work card, ending toxic friendships, toxic relationships. And a lot of these masculines, too, we might get wrapped up in thinking about whatever karmic they're with as a romantic partner, but a lot of them wouldn't have toxic karmics if they didn't have toxic friendships all around, if they didn't have disconnections with family, if they had emotional security on their own. So a fair amount of them don't just have to release themselves from karmic entanglements. This can also be the group. This is a very Aquarian card and very Taurian card. But in terms of Aquarius, it's very much the group. And, it's not just the romantic person that they have to have boundaries with and change things around with, and sometimes end commitments or even lifelong friendships with in order to. The irony is, I think a fair amount of them are seeing it's not just to be with you, it's so they can be happy on their own, so they can pursue their dreams, so they're not so stuck, so they're not constantly giving more than they're receiving in all forms of relationships. They want to have fun. They want this Venus and Leo energy, and they're not having fun. And so they're probably also acting fairly immature in their relationships. This could be why it's a hot topic, or they could be talking about that with their karmics, who might also be very emotionally immature and unstable. I think for some of them also, too, in combination with these other cards, your name is likely coming up a fair amount in their current conversations. Like a fair amount of them are being accused of having strong feelings for you, which still shouldn't destabilize a relationship, but whatever. And they're also kind of doing a back and forth with the karmic about them doing the same thing because they're reflecting each other. And it could be that that's part of this meet energy. They're supposed to meet up with you. It could also even be that the karmics know that, especially if you have other connections, family connections, or co-parenting, or things like that. But they're being very, very immature about it, and they don't want that friendship to occur at all. And so, masculines, this Hierophant reversed is about them standing in their truth. And personal power. Both the Emperor and Strength are about personal power, and in upright, so is this card. So I think right now this is kind of what they're learning. They're feeling conflicted. They know to stay where they're at would require continuing to lie to themselves, but they also know that to release themselves from it would require admitting that they lied in the past. Some of them just in deceiving themselves about what they really wanted, what their heart really wanted, and others, they openly were deceptive because they jumped into a mess that was very conflicting and they didn't want you or anyone else to know how really bad it actually has been. Okay, so now we've clarified that. Let's look at Okay, let's look at what's this Eight of Pentacles about. Spirit. Oh, all right, I'll take that. Ace of Wands. A new verbal and/or sexual adventure, inspiration, creativity. What else is that Eight of Pentacles about? This is how they're feeling. Thank you for a little more clarity. One or two more cards, please, Spirit. Wow, that was a lot more than one or two more cards. Oh, no, I guess it wasn't a lot more. It was only 3 cards. We'll take that. Oh, interesting. Look what's on the bottom now. Can't make that up. Like 20, 10 of Cups in reverse. So this Eight of Pentacles, so the cards we got, Ace of Wands, the Moon, the Five of Cups, more 5 energy, of course, and the Page of Swords reversed. What I'm getting from this is that masculines want to talk. They probably want a physical connection with you, but they're still a little bit confused about boundaries in terms of should they hold themselves back, should they speak, should they not speak. They're seeking clarity, and they're trying to understand where their hidden enemies are, because they regret the choice that they made. And the irony is, in this card you have the Two of Cups upright and the Three of Cups reversed, kicked over. They're regretting this third party situation, and a fair amount of them are they're daydreaming about you, and some of them are lurking on you, checking on social media profiles, checking dating apps and things to see if you're out there and what you're doing, and they're imagining themselves being single and free, and it's new for a lot of them. And it's interesting because that Page of Swords is looking at the Five of Cups, the Moon, and the Ace of Wands, and that Five of Cups person is just looking at the kicked over cups. So I kind of get the sense that right now this is divine masculines and this is the karmics, and this is good. This is the first of the pages, and okay, what I'm kind of getting the sense of is this is their karmic right now, crying over spilled milk, looking for things to be unhappy about, giving grief. I'm kind of hearing that Charlie Brown, good grief, and like they're kind of in a little bit of a reactive state, but they're being cold and logical. This is also has often this card is associated with Taurus because it's a very earthy sword sign. You don't see a lot of them like that, and so they're actually being fairly emotionally mature, but they're still learning how to do that. But they're not quite giving in. They're not going down in vibration to this place. And it's giving them a little bit of clarity. And they're just kind of having faith in the ways that you've reminded them to, probably recently, but if at all, or if they just see you doing your thing, and they want a new beginning. They want to be able to talk about it. They want to feel inspired. And with this and this one in here, I'm getting the sense that a fair amount of them are writing and journaling and maybe making music or things like that. That my youngest just came up, and it's funny. He's about ready to go to the park for the day, but he's got chocolate all over his face. It's really adorable, though. And I think that is definitely relevant. I think divine masculines are there's definitely a lot of interruptions and a lot of things happening all at once that they're trying to take care of and manage. It's probably part of a little bit of feeling reactive, but they're thinking about their family, especially those of you that share that co-parent with them, and they're not feeling happy without that connection, especially if you've had to have boundaries that prevent them from seeing their kids for a while until they're in this dimension, and they're having to hear through all the noise of the uncomfortable karmic situation that they're in to recognize, wow, look what was right under this card and this card too. Oh wow, I'm so laughing. I can't make this up. And this, these are all in the bottom deck. And this, and then underneath that is the Nine of Swords too. A nightmare situation. They want to leave and they want to come back to you. They recognize that they're with a karmic who is vindictive, victim mindset, very cutthroat. They don't want to do it anymore. They're being quiet. But they're actually being in their strong emotional energy. That's part of why I think this card came up in upright. And because they want love, they want true love, they want that naked, intimate love, that spiritual love, and they probably in a way that they haven't ever really allowed themselves to want before, and because they're recognizing that they're not happy without their Ten of Cups, their family, their feminine, all of that. Um, so, because of the order that these cards laid out, and I think the clarity on this Eight of Pentacles is they're ready to start new with you. It might start out a bit immature. They might seek a physical connection or be flirtatious with you at first, but don't, this isn't a time to be having a ton of boundaries. Just stand in your power. If you feel like it's not the right moment to say yes, then don't say yes, but you don't need to necessarily turn this away. Just kind of see where it goes. Embrace the absurd, because I think that's part of what they're doing. So that you might get some communication with them, or with them, hmm, with them. Well, you might get some communication from them, and I think also, yeah, I think telepathic. A lot of them are communicating with you telepathically. If you've been having dreams of conversations with them, or you feel like you're arguing with them in your head sometimes, or having a conversation with them in your head, you probably are, especially with this moon card out, which very much signifies the Pisces full moon. And a lot of them probably had something happen, either on that day directly or around it, or they're having something happen because of that. And this card is both about faith and illusions. I think some of them are having they're having new, they're being enlightened about the situation they're in and feeling a little more spiritual, and they're seeing themselves grow where the karmic is not. But they're ready to get out of that victim mindset. Let's see here. Oh wow, heart of the matter for that. Consequences to cheating and manipulating. Okay. Let's see. Let's get, thank you for some clarity on this Five of Swords. What's going on, Five of Swords, for Divine Masculines? Why are they feeling conflicted? Oh, interesting. The Fool, upright. And on the bottom now, the Ten of Pentacles with the Nine of Pentacles. They're feeling like they need to go back for you in order to have their Ten of Pentacles. I want a new start, but let's see. What else are they conflicted about? One or two more cards, please, Spirit, for this Five of Swords clarity. It's interesting to be conflicted about the Fool. New beginning. Oh, alright, I'll take you both. Oh, you wanted to reverse yourself. Okay. Wow, that is funny. Okay. When those two cards came out, I was holding the deck like this, and I noticed shadow card on the bottom. Nine of Cups in reverse. It's interesting because the Magician is also reversed there. Like negative aspects of hedonism, gambling. I just saw another police car. I've seen a few of those today, and it feels somewhat relevant to what's going on with masculines. But I'll leave it to you to know. That just might be karma. Might be legal situations. I don't know. But this can be like being ungrateful, being hedonistic, gambling, drinking, using sex in negative ways, and the Magician is off. It's being tricky. It's gaslighting, manipulation. But what I'm laughing about is the way that I'd split it. This would be the heart of the matter, right? And that one just came out in like, why are they feeling this way? Why are they feeling like working towards a commitment? Why are they quietly clickety clicking on their computers or being quiet and playing their guitars and things like that? Because in their hearts they're dreaming of freedom. Maybe for some of them this will be the first time they'll truly be being single and not with the intention to jump immediately into a relationship, which a lot of them can only do because they know that you are there and that they don't have to rush. You're not going to run away if they don't run towards you, even if they feel, I don't know, even if they feel you pull away. Okay. Oh, interesting, of course. This is now the hot topic. Somebody who's really bad with boundaries, who's kind of being an interloper and third wheel in everything. They want to have their hands in every jar, and they're very unstable. Now, the cards that came out to clarify the Five of Swords, we have the Fool, Tower reversed, and the moon. And this one was one of the ones that popped back out, and I was thinking, oh, that's odd, but it fell on the floor and wanted to flip over. It actually, ironically, it landed in a kind of a garbage pail that I have over here. It could be, especially with that new energy, part of what they're conflicted about is they are ready to scrap the relationship that they jumped into. When they jumped into it, they had some faith in it. They were trying to trust their intuition, but they realized they weren't. And also, this is revealing hidden enemies. Um, I I just heard in my head that they're trash. They're trash. It could be that. Oh man, it could be, especially with that Hierophant reversed energy, that a lot of them, they're doing two things. One, they're recognizing the toxic cycles that their karmics have been in, and that they are actually a hidden enemy of that. They didn't want to believe it. They didn't want to listen to their intuition. And others of them are feeling like that makes them trash, and others of them, they're sometimes, in order to break up with somebody, especially somebody who's not, well, even in fact, it can be even harder with somebody who's toxic. Look how many people stay in even physically abusive relationships and make all sorts of reasons not to go. Sometimes we have to, in our heads, get to a really low vibrational place, or we think we do. Let me clarify that. We think we do. And so masculines are kind of still thinking that they have to allow a conflict to happen so they can feel strong enough to be angry and reactive enough to end it. So they're kind of talking themselves into it, like, this is bad, this is toxic, they're my enemy, they've not helped me with money, and I'm ready to I'm ready to break free and start new. But there's all these tower situations, like whether I stay with them or I try to leave them, there's all these towers, and they're just so constant. This to me, especially in the why are they feeling conflicted, all of these cards come together. To they I get the message like, oh my god, are we really fighting again? Why are we always fighting? Why are we always fighting? Why is there always confusion? Why do I feel like this person, like we're not lovers, we're enemies? What is going on with this situation? And I'm really getting called to the white rose that he's holding, or they're holding. For some of you, there could be significance with folded white napkin roses, and for others, it's just that desire to be innocent and pure and to blossom and to grow. I think that's part of what the conflict is about. They really want to grow. A lot of them aren't necessarily even opposed to growing with the karmic, but they're noticing that they can't. The karmic won't allow it. They won't allow them to ever get above this stage. They're being very controlling. There's always towers. There's always new enemies popping up, and they really want to start over. And many of them may have been recognizing that they've continually gotten into this energy with this karmic, and it's not worked. It's not worked. It's not worked. No matter what they do, there is conflict. That the person they are with is that Five of Cups energy, just constantly in victim space, like, how can you do this to me? How can you abandon me? You're just like everybody else, or it's not my fault. Only, all these bad things always happen to good people, and the life's just not fair. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so ready to be done with this. I am a happier person than this. I want to trust in spirit. I want to start a journey that feels good to me. I want to be able to get past the Eight of Pentacles. And I had a thought earlier too, a fair amount of masculines, especially those who you feel like you've had some good interactions with them, and now they're being quiet, and it might feel um, like a no contact situation, or like limiting on communication. They're actually in the King of Cups stage, which I think we had seen that earlier in this reading, which is just before the King of Pentacles stage. If they're being King of Cups, they're they're in their feelings, they're feeling things, they might even be having some tearful nights, and they're really feeling that Pisces moon energy, but they're not saying anything about it. They're still, like, they're being very mature in terms of not putting it all on you, not putting it all on the karmic. And they also recognize they have to have some good boundaries. In fact, these three cards, about, like with the Eight of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and the Ace of Swords reversed, that's all boundaries that they need to have. Even this one, boundary. There's a boundary in there. Even this one has a boundary, but And this is a good example of a boundary. A boundary is what you hold yourself to, not what you hold other people to do. You know, nobody can stop the fool from walking off the cliff, but the fool can stop themselves from walking off the cliff. And it's interesting too because the fool is looking away from the tower and the moon reversed in this, just as the Five of Swords is looking at the Eight of Pentacles. I just got a message too. A fair amount of masculines are this, they're seeing you as this. They're seeing you as glowing up. You're working on things. You put your head down. You're doing the work. Even if it's not like job work, you're doing the work, and they're looking at you and they're feeling like they're kind of in a circus and like constant, like no rules, cage fighting almost, like anything goes and it's horrible, and they're wondering, are you deceiving them? They're feeling, but they're feeling deception in there somewhere. Also makes sense with this. I think what they're realizing is that they were deceived by the person they jumped in with, and that they had to deceive themselves a fair amount in it. And they're kind of recognizing that they've been their own worst enemies. All right, let's clarify this last card, and then I'll leave it at this, and maybe do another reading later. All right, Spirit, thank you for clarifying this Ace of Swords reversed. Oh, all right, interesting. Look who wanted to pop out immediately, and still in reverse. Somebody who's using sexual energy in a negative way. And I'm also getting the sense too that the Ace of Swords reversed for them is, well, I mean, a fair amount of divine feminines that have been in this for a while too. Like they recognize the cycles, and they're allowing themselves to actually just be good and enjoy their playful energy, enjoy the space, enjoy the time, and masculines are actually just feeling disconnected from them, and that doesn't feel good, and they're wondering what you're up to. Are you connecting with somebody else? Do they have competition? Things like that. But I think mostly this is the karmic though, and often there's a reflection. So like if you're considering, if you're flirting with somebody else and you're not giving your attention to your masculine, not to hurt them or anything, you just recognize they need to deal with their situation, and you're talking with others, they feel disconnected from you, but their karmic is reflecting you, but in being vindictive, reactive, mean, using sex and emotions to manipulate, and gaslighting. But let's see what else. What else is this Ace of Swords about? Oh, we almost had the Queen of Pentacles reverse pop out. It was interesting. I'm going to turn this a little bit. Thank you, Spirit. One or two more cards about this Ace of Swords. Judgment almost wanted to pop out there, too. Oh, alright. Oh, that's funny. Of course you wanted to pop out. And now on the bottom, Three of Wands again. Thank you for one more card, Spirit. Oh, alright. Did we get more? You know what? I'll take them. I got three more, but that's okay. And now on the bottom, look at that. Appeared again. 10 of Pentacles reversed. They wanted a legacy. They don't have it. The Empress is right beneath that in reverse. They're with a diva, and they recognize that they're hurting their feminine also, and they're ready to put an end to the situation that they recognize they jumped into from immaturity. And they're ready for their twin flame. They're ready for a happy home. Some of them are even thinking about marriage and probably wondering, is it too soon? Would that be bad? Would that be a bag of red flags? Anyways, the rest of the cards that came out, Ace of Pentacles reversed, Knight of Pentacles upright. It's good to see that twice now. It means progress. It's slow, but it's secure. And the Six of Cups reversed, which is often also well, it's a card of a feeling of stuckness, but it's often a karmic card too, like a soulmate that the contract that they had with them was to learn these lessons, but it's, it's to get out from being stuck in their past. So also, the Six of Cups in reverse can be wanting to return to a pleasant past, a good nostalgic feeling one, and that Knight of Pentacles is offering it to the reverse Six of Cups. I think, oh, you know what? I did have a vision about this earlier. A fair amount of divine masculines found themselves in such a toxic type situation that they might actually be putting funds together to buy a ticket to get their karmics to go, to another state with family, or they may be putting money into a moving truck to get them out of their housing situations, or they may be just trying to bribe them to go, which unfortunately is fairly true for a fair amount of karmic situations, karmic third party situations. Now, this Queen of Wands reversed with the Four of Pentacles reversed and the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Definitely, divine masculines are having financial problems, and because it clarifies that they're the Ace of Swords reversed, which is what they're feeling, deception, misunderstandings, miscommunications, gaslighting, and they're noticing they're having some big money problems, and that it is coming from a feminine figure who is misusing her powers. I think some of them are still to a degree wondering if that's you, even if you've been at a distance and not had your hands in any of it. They might be under. Some of them, their karmics do use some amount of spell work, which can also just be synonym in the tarot world for gaslighting, are tricking them. But some of them still believe that still have some troubles knowing that it's not you. Um, and a lot of that isn't what you're doing or not doing. It's because they have mother wounds and father wounds to heal, and they've been with very toxic people, and you are different from from the people they've been with, and so they have a hard time believing that if everybody they've known, if every woman they've known has always been in this energy, why aren't you? Why aren't you? Why are you able to do this? Why are you able to glow up, be Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles? Why are you able to keep working on things, and yet they're stuck in conflict? Why do they see you glowing up, and it may be slow and maybe just you, and but it's secure? Why do you have security and they have conflict? How are you doing it, and how are you doing it without being this way? How are you doing it without manipulating sexuality? How are you doing it without messing with their heads? How is that happening? I'm getting a lot of that message and evaluating in that. But there's definitely somebody, probably their karmic, who has been trying to keep their hands in everything, trying to say, like, some of them are like, anytime the DM wants to go anywhere, it's, where are you going? I'll go with you. We'll go to the store, or take my friend with you, or my child with you, or no, you have to stay here. Or are you really in there showering? Are you messing on your phone? Where's your phone? Are you hiding your phone? Let me see your phone. It's like boundary violation times 1,000. And instability, especially financially, kind of its own tower card in a way in reverse. And the Ace of Pentacles, like greed, materialism that doesn't, trying to plant a seed that did not take because it wasn't meant to grow. You can't grow with greed. And they're ready to be more mature. This is the most mature knight out of all of them, and making its way to the Queen, and then to the King of Pentacles, and then to the Empress and Emperor. I think a lot of them are wanting. I love the way the sun is shining in on this right now. What synchronicity! Oh, and it's 4:20. Well, then now 4:21, 6 and 7. The Lovers and Victory. I think that a lot of them are ready to come to you, but they don't feel like they have a lot to offer, maybe just a little more emotional stability. But first they see that they need to get unstuck from the past. They need to release their exes, they need to release their karmic, and they basically need to let go of what they had hoped would be a Ten of Pentacles situation. And a lot of them probably even have to, like with it this way, especially with the Hierophant reverse, that's two groups things, and this is going against tradition. They're changing their whole lives around, and they're getting out of contractual situations. Is another one of contracts, and especially, I'm going to take that with the Hierophant. I think a fair amount of them are recognizing that they were deceiving themselves, and they were deceived by their karmics, and they got into what they thought would be a good connection that would make their family feel good. They would have money, they would be seen as an upstanding citizen and a man capable of providing on their own, and they'd have a marriage and a higher commitment. It would look great to everyone, and it would feel great within, and it's not. So they know that they need to end it, and that they're going to have to face the music of admitting to people, especially if they want to come back to you. They need to admit that it was not what they thought it was going to be, and that they not only were deceived, but they deceived everyone else about you, and probably deceived you also. And I think because there's so much yellow in here, that they're kind of having some ego fights about that too, about admitting to that. They know it's not going to be as bad as they think, but they still worry about it. It's still new. A lot of them are more used to being on the defensive about negative things, and yeah. Anyways, we're getting up past the hour mark, so I'm gonna pull, say, one to two more cards about what's their plan of action right now. Thank you, Spirit, for actually one to three cards. What's their plan of action? Divine Masculine's plan of action right now. Oh, all right. Oh, that's funny. Four of Pentacles, and on the bottom now, Temperance, healing. They're gonna have boundaries. Oh, thank you. And the next two cards, the Eight of Swords and Strength reversed. So they're gonna have good, strong boundaries, especially with the boundary violator. They're still feeling a little bit stuck, especially in codependent energy, but they're having emotional breakthroughs. And oh wow, yeah, death is now the hot topic, the ending and the new beginning, the rebirth. Oh, heart of the matter, the devil too. They're feeling lusty and they want out of karmic contracts. We did have devil in reversed earlier. I think oh wow, yeah, I think most masculines they're freeing themselves from this person, the victim narcissist. They're having boundaries from them. They're kind of just being quiet. They're working on their money. This is very Virgo energy. They're kind of taking the counting of things, and they're like internally they're having emotional breakthroughs. They're seeing how they've been stuck, and they want to talk to you. They probably want to come see you, but they're still feeling a little bit immature. They know what they want. They know that you're their twin, and they're ready to take the mask off. Stop being a hypocrite. Stop having so many tower situations and arguments, to stop misusing their masculine energy and stop being with people who are ungrateful, who gaslight them. They're ready for reunion and fulfilling relationships. They're ready to heal and stop having so many of their boundaries broken. They've already made the decision. They're kind of they're presenting themselves to be this still, to be the King of Swords, but this is good. This is butterfly energy, and I actually get the sense that most of them actually are feeling King of Cups, but they're being this way in order to manifest, guess who? You. And the ending of the situation that they're in. They're ascending in their minds. That kind of makes sense with that Four of Cups reversed. I was feeling like a lot of them right now are having emotional breakthroughs, so you might not see a whole ton of like White Knight riding in sort of thing, but you might start seeing them admitting to the truth of their situations. Or if you're in no contact, you might end up seeing that like later. They'll tell you about they really had this like aha moment, epiphany moment, and we're like, this isn't working. All right, everybody, thank you for your likes, shares, and subscribes. Feedback's always welcome in the comments below, and I leave my email down there for any personal or private readings. Otherwise, have a great day.